On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Archaeology.
The branch of anthropology that studies prehistoric people and their cultures.
Examples:
The Institute of Archaeology. Prehistoric archaeology. She teaches archaeology at the local university.
Seductive.
Tempting or alluring attractively or persuasively, often used to describe a person, behavior, or idea that is intended to lure or entice someone into a specific action or belief.
Examples:
A seductive smile. Seductive behavior. The actor's seductive gaze drew the audience's attention on stage.
Imaginable.
Capable of being imagined.
Examples:
Easily imaginable. Worst imaginable case. This is the only imaginable strategy.
Devote.
To commit or dedicate oneself or one's time, effort, or energy to a particular task or purpose.
Examples:
Devote all of my energies. Devote my own life. He devoted himself to studying the history of ancient civilizations.
Unravel.
Undo twisted, knitted, or woven threads by separating it.
Examples:
Unravel a knit. Unravel a plot. Detectives are still attempting to unravel the mystery of his death.
Arctic.
Of or relating to the region around the North Pole or the Arctic Ocean, very cold.
Examples:
Arctic ice. High Arctic. Cold temperatures and long, dark winters characterize the Arctic climate.
Rainforest.
A forest rich in biodiversity that is generally found in tropical settings with heavy annual rainfall.
Examples:
Rainforest destruction. Tropical rainforest. The destruction of the rainforest is a ticking time bomb for the Earth.
Bliss.
Extreme happiness or joy.
Examples:
Ignorance is bliss. Ultimate bliss. The first 2 years of her marriage were sheer bliss.
Emerald.
Having a deep, rich green color, like that of an emerald gemstone.
Examples:
An emerald gem. Emerald ring. The emerald green dress caught everyone's eye at the party.
Paddy.
A flooded field where rice is grown, also known as a rice paddy, rice that is still in its husk, harvested from marshy fields called paddies, usually in Asia.
Examples:
Paddy farming. Paddy production. The sight of the paddy fields swaying in the wind was breathtaking.
Speechless.
Unable to speak because of shock, fear, surprise, or other strong emotion, so impressive or awe-inspiring that one cannot find adequate words to express one's thoughts or feelings.
Examples:
Speechless reaction. Speechless with shock. The breathtaking view left me speechless for a minute.
Brilliance.
The quality of being very clever or talented, the quality of being very bright or shining.
Examples:
Brilliance of diamond. Economic brilliance. The scientist's brilliance led to many groundbreaking discoveries in his field.
Chisel.
A tool with a sharpened edge at one end used for shaping wood, stone, or metal. Verb, to engage in deceitful behavior.
Examples:
Sharpen chisel. Chisel some money. The archaeologist used a small chisel to excavate the ancient artifact.
Bureaucracy.
A system of government in which most of the important decisions are made by state officials rather than by elected representatives.
Examples:
Government bureaucracy. Arbitrary bureaucracy. The bumbling bureaucracy made it difficult to get the permits we needed.
Ingenuity.
The quality of inventing things or solving problems in clever new ways.
Examples:
The infinite ingenuity of man. Abound in ingenuity. Creativity and ingenuity are often brought about by extreme concentration.
Inscription.
A message or design that is written or engraved on a surface of something, such as stone or metal.
Examples:
Inscription on a plaque. Funerary inscriptions. The ancient coin had an inscription in Latin and a picture of the emperor on the other side.
Selfie.
A photograph that one has taken of oneself, typically one taken with a smartphone or webcam to share on social media.
Examples:
Selfie stick. Pose for a selfie. She took a selfie in front of the famous tower and shared it on the app.
Bling.
A slang term that refers to flashy, showy, or ostentatious jewelry, often characterized by its high cost or precious materials.
Examples:
Flashy bling. Bling jewelry. She loves to accessorize with lots of bling, but I prefer a different style.
Obsess.
To fill the mind of someone continually so that one can't think of anything else.
Examples:
Obsess over her weight. He is obsessed with the fear. He's utterly obsessed with his promotion.
Spokesperson.
A person who represents or speaks on behalf of an organization, group, or individual to the media or the public.
Examples:
Company spokesperson. Official spokesperson. The celebrity spokesperson made an appearance at the product launch event.
Trifecta.
A situation in which three things or events occur together, especially in a particular sequence, often used in the context of horse racing, where it refers to picking the first three finishers in a race in the correct order.
Examples:
Trifecta of evil. Trifecta bet. The chef's trifecta of appetizers was a hit at the dinner party.
Ancestor.
A person from whom one is descended, a forefather.
Examples:
Ancestor language. Earliest human ancestor. My remote ancestor immigrated to the United States from Ireland in the 1800s.
Syphilis.
A sexually transmitted disease caused by the bacterium Treponema pallidum, characterized by multiple stages and a wide range of symptoms.
Examples:
Oral syphilis. Late-stage syphilis. Untreated syphilis can cause serious health problems.
Bury.
To place a dead body in the ground, grave, or tomb.
Examples:
Bury in the earth. Bury emotion. There is plenty of space to bury everyone.
Excavate.
To dig or remove earth, rocks, or other materials from the ground or a site, often to uncover or discover something.
Examples:
Excavate a deep hole. Excavate soil. The archaeologists excavated the ruins of an ancient city buried under the desert sands.
Rectangle.
A four-sided geometric shape with four right angles, where opposite sides are parallel and of equal length.
Examples:
Orthogonal rectangle. Rectangle box. The living room had a rectangle-shaped coffee table in the center of it.
Rectilinear.
Characterized by straight lines or boundaries, having a form consisting primarily or exclusively of straight lines or linear elements.
Examples:
Rectilinear shape. Rectilinear motion. The rectilinear design of the skyscraper gave it a modern and sleek appearance.
Undiscovered.
Not yet found or known.
Examples:
Undiscovered territory. Undiscovered potential. The jungle is full of undiscovered species waiting to be found.
Loot.
Steal goods from a place or person, typically during a war or riot. Noun, steal goods from a place or person, typically using force, especially in times of war or civil disorder.
Examples:
Loot the ship. War loot. The bandits looted the small town, leaving it in ruins.
Rampant.
Especially of something bad or unwelcome, flourishing or spreading everywhere in a way that cannot be controlled.
Examples:
Rampant growth of weeds. Rampant corruption. In an overly protective industry, violations of the ethics rules tend to be rampant.
Crater.
A huge bowl-shaped cavity in the earth or an object in space, usually created by an explosion or the impact of a meteorite.
Examples:
Crater lake. Lunar crater. An enormous crater marks the area where the vast volcanic explosion occurred.
Invade.
To enter aggressively into another's territory by military force for conquest and occupation.
Examples:
Invade other tissues. Invade his privacy. I have no intention to invade your privacy.
Writ.
A written legal order or command.
Examples:
A writ of summons. Issue a writ. He was served with a writ of eviction, giving him the notice to vacate the property.
Middleman.
A person who acts as an intermediary between two or more parties, often facilitating the exchange of goods or services and taking a commission or fee for their services.
Examples:
Trusted middleman. Business middleman. The middleman in the real estate deal ensured a smooth and fair transaction.
Non-existent.
Not real, not existing or having no real existence.
Examples:
Non-existent resources. Presently non-existent. The evidence for this theory is non-existent.
Astonishing.
Surprising or shocking, difficult to believe.
Examples:
Astonishing achievement. Make astonishing gains. The news of her sudden death was astonishing to everyone who knew her.
Recession.
A period of economic decline, typically lasting for 6 months or more, during which trade and industrial activity decrease, and unemployment increases.
Examples:
Recession period. Recover from a recession. The country is facing a recession, with high unemployment and low GDP.
Resilient.
Able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions.
Examples:
A hard and resilient steel. Resilient population. She is a resilient person and has always bounced back from setbacks.
Renaissance.
A new growth in activity or enthusiasm in anything, particularly art, literature, or music.
Examples:
Artistic Renaissance. Industrial Renaissance. Folk music is now experiencing a renaissance.
Strife.
Conflict or disagreement, especially between people or groups.
Examples:
At strife over the land. Civil strife. The country has been racked by political strife for many years.
Rebound.
To spring back into a former shape or position after being compressed or stretched.
Examples:
Rebound from a setback. Rebound back into positive growth. The basketball bounced off the rim and rebounded to the player.
Resurgence.
The return or growth of something after a period of decline or disappearance.
Examples:
Resurgence in popularity. Resurgence of exports. After years of decline, the city is experiencing a resurgence in economic growth.
Pharaoh.
The title of the ancient Egyptian kings.
Examples:
A young pharaoh. Egyptian pharaoh. The pharaoh Khufu had his people build the most famous pyramids in the world.
Coffin.
A box or container used to bury a dead body, a case or structure resembling a coffin.
Examples:
Coffin lid. Wooden coffin. The priest prayed over the coffin before it was lowered into the ground.
Engrave.
To carve, cut, or etch a design, message, or image onto a surface, often using a sharp tool or laser, to permanently record or mark something in a lasting manner.
Examples:
Engrave initials. Engrave metal. He wanted to engrave his wedding ring with their initials as a lasting symbol of their love.
Overseer.
A person who supervises or directs the work of others, a guardian or keeper of something.
Examples:
Overseer of a plantation. Production overseer. The overseer of the construction project was responsible for ensuring everything was done on time and within budget.
Treasury.
The government department in charge of managing public funds, the funds of a government or institution or individual.
Examples:
Treasury bonds. Treasury money. The protracted war nearly depleted the country's treasury.
Hieroglyph.
A writing system using picture symbols, such as the one used in ancient Egypt.
Examples:
Egyptian hieroglyph. The hieroglyph of the bird. Each beautiful hieroglyph represents either an idea or a sound.
Superficial.
Existing or occurring only at or on the surface, appearing to be true or real only until examined more closely.
Examples:
Superficial wound. The journalist's superficial reporting should have captured the full scope of the issue.
Coo.
A low, soft, murmuring sound made by a dove, pigeon, or other bird, an expression of tenderness or affection, stands for Chief Operating Officer, a senior executive position in an organization responsible for overseeing the day-to-day operations and managing various departments and functions within the company.
Examples:
Baby coo. The COO of the company. The baby let out a gentle coo as she was rocked to sleep.
Arabic.
The Semitic language of the Arab people, widely spoken throughout the Middle East and North Africa, of or relating to Arab peoples, culture, or language.
Examples:
Arabic cuisine. Arabic language. I'm studying Arabic calligraphy as part of my art class.
Payback.
A punishment or retaliation that is inflicted in response to an injury or offense, the benefit or gain obtained as a result of an investment, effort, or action.
Examples:
Long-term payback. Environmental payback. The company's payback plan allowed customers to earn cash back on purchases.
Generosity.
The fact or quality of being willing to do kind things or give somebody money, gifts, or time freely.
Examples:
Act of generosity. Boundless generosity. He is remembered for his generosity and civilization.
Crowdsourcing.
The practice of obtaining needed services, ideas, or content by enlisting the services of a large number of people, either paid or unpaid, typically via the Internet.
Examples:
Crowdsourcing apps. Crowdsourcing in climate policy. The company used this crowdsourcing platform to gather ideas for its next product.
Outset.
The beginning of something.
Examples:
Month's outset. The outset of the crisis. At the outset of the project, we encountered several obstacles.
Rev.
A measure of the rate at which an engine or motor rotates, often expressed in revolutions per minute, RPM, verb, to increase the number of rotations per minute.
Examples:
Low-rev engine. Rev up the crowd. He stepped on the gas pedal, and the engine released a loud rev.
Periscope.
A device that uses mirrors to allow a person to see objects that are not in their direct line of sight, often used on submarines or military vehicles.
Examples:
Periscope lens. Submarine periscope. The soldier peeked through the periscope to watch for enemy movements.
Invert.
To turn something upside down, inside out, to reverse the position, order, or relationship of something.
Examples:
Invert a glass. Invert position. He decided to invert his investment portfolio, shifting from stocks to bonds.